الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
But let me tell you what a non-Muslims, they have to say about the Quran and its eloquence. A.J. Arbery, an Englishman who translated the Holy Qur'an into English, in his preface he says, whenever I hear the Quran chanted, is a foreigner. He had just learned Arabic. Arabic is not his mother tongue. And he says, whenever I hear the Quran chanted, meaning beautifully recited, it is as though I'm listening to music. Underneath the flowing melody, there is sounding all the time the insistent beat of a drum. It is like the beating of my heart. You can't help vibrating on the wavelength of the Quran. A miracle in the first instance. We Muslims, we believe that this book is Allah's kalam. Allah Bari Ta'ala revealed it to the Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The enemies of Islam, they agree that this is the book that Muhammad left. Friends and foe alike, they say this is the book that Muhammad left. But they say that this is not Allah's kalam. This is Muhammad's cleverness. Very clever man. So we say, look, he was an ummi, an unlearned person. I said, yes, but wasn't he a very clever man? Wasn't he a great speaker? Wasn't he a great thinker? We would have to agree that he was. He was exceptionally good in all these qualities. Then I said, look, why could he not have rehashed into a beautiful language what he heard from his environment and dished it off as revelation? It's his handiwork. Allah testifies against that. He says, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ. He says, he does not speak from his own desire. إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. It is no less than an inspiration sent down to him. عَلَّمَهُ شَدِيدُ الْقُوَىٰ. He is taught by one mighty in power. We believe that this is Allah's kalam. Allah testifies and we testify. But the outsider, he says, no, this is Muhammad's handiwork. So I am telling you, my brothers and sisters, let us for a moment agree with the skeptic, with the cynic, with the critic. Let's agree with him and admit that this is Muhammad's book, that he is the author, though we know he is not. So he said, all right, so you say this is Muhammad's production. He says, yes. So now I want you to agree with me that this is a one-man job, one-man effort. If he did it, this is Muhammad's own handiwork. So, well, there's no hesitation in accepting that this is his handiwork. I said, right. In that case, I said, now I present to you this book in its material magnitude, in its size. This is one-man job. You have here another job which you claim to be Allah's kalam, the Bible. This Bible consists of the Old Testament, which is actually the book of the Jews, and the New Testament, old and new put together. The Christians have inherited it, old and new put together. In this encyclopedia called the Bible, there are 66 books inside. What we might call surahs. In the Quran we have 114 surahs. They have 66 books, big and small. But these 66 books are authored by 40 different persons. This is what they tell us. 40 different people, their writings lying around, manuscript form, whatever form, that they got them together into one book. 40 different people went together to produce this one book. This is a one-man production, if at all. The concept of Allah Bari Ta'ala. You see, we know Allah by His attributes. And Allah gives us His attributes in His book. We do not have to create these attributes. We have not to concoct them as to what Allah is. So He tells us what He is. He is Ar-Rahman, He is Ar-Rahim, He is Al-Malik, He's Al-Quddus, He's Al-Salam, He's Al-Mu'min, He's Al-Muhaymin, He's Al-Aziz, He's Al-Jabbar, He's Al-Mutakabbir, and on and on and on. He gives us, Allah gives us in His book 99 beautiful attributes. Like a necklace of pearls, 99 attributes with a crowning glory, Allah, a big pendant, Allah, proper noun, Allah, 99 attributes and one proper name, Allah, makes it 100. And I'm asking learned people, doctors, lawyers, philosophers, when I meet them, I said, look, tell me now, I would like to know from you, how many attributes can you imagine that you can attribute to God? How many? Come, try. So he says, well, He's the Father in heaven. I say, yes. God is love. I say, yes. No, tell us, whatever. Come on. He's just. I say, yes. He's holy. I say, yes. He's merciful. I say, yes. Come on. You know the cleverest of us, the cleverest of mankind, the most learned of us, he can't go beyond a dozen. He can't imagine with all his learning more than a dozen attributes from his knowledge. He can't. I said, you see, this Ummi, if he did this work, he gives you 99. He said, well, you see, Muhammad was a genius. And a genius can do 10 times better than us. He admits, he's a genius. Still, it is not Allah's kalam. A genius can do 10 times better than what I can. I concede that. I take off my hat to Muhammad. He is great, but he is no prophet. He is not a man sent by God. I said, all right, but now look. In the names that you mentioned, in the first 6, the first one was the Father in heaven. But let's say, in a number of tries, in the first half a dozen, you can't help using the word Father. They say, Abbana, O our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom, O our Father, the loving Father in heaven. The first half a dozen, you must come out with the word Father. He said, yes, anybody. If you try, the Father is there, is dangling before everybody, because the Christians have made it famous. The Jews were calling him the Father in heaven, and the Christians call him the Father in heaven. The commonest, this word, Father. I said, you know what? In the list of 99, this word Father is not there. That is a miracle. See, the miracle is that the thing that is being dangled before him for 23 years, people are talking about the Father in heaven, the Father in heaven, easiest to take. He doesn't take it, he doesn't catch it. Either consciously or unconsciously. We know it's not his word. It's Allah Bari Ta'ala. He's making him not to use the word Ab. In Arabic, it's easier than Rabb. He's Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. He's the Lord, cherisher, sustainer of the worlds. He's Rabb. And Rabb is harder than Ab in Hebrew as well as in Arabic. So they say that this universe came into being with a Big Bang. The Big Bang theory. Who says that? The most learned men of science, astronomers. They say, where did you get these funny ideas from? This fairy tale about a Big Bang. So no, it is not fairy tales. These are facts, demonstrable facts. We can demonstrate it, show you what is happening, and from that we can conclude. If we had a film and put in reverse gear, so we could see what is happening is all coming back again. With the way it's going out, the balloon, if we can deflate it, you'll see it all coming back to one central point. And there was a Big Bang. When did you discover this? You say yesterday. Because 50 years is yesterday in the history of man. What is 50 years? Nothing. As an illiterate man in the desert, a person who didn't know how to read or write, a person who couldn't sign his own name, he couldn't have known this, could he? He says, no, never. Impossible. Man doesn't know astronomy. He hasn't got the instruments. He hasn't got a telescope. Nothing. In the desert, and among an Ummi people, illiterate people. And he is now telling you This man in the desert, 1,400 years ago, كانت رتقا ففتقناهما, and he split them asunder. And you biologists, people who study minute life, microplasm, the amoeba, he says, life originated in the sea, water. Without this water, no life. And they tell you, says, look, we look back in time, in space. He says, look, this is how life originated. There was a time when this earth was a molten mass. Nothing could have survived here. Everything boiling, and over a period of billions of years, the vapors went up and came down, and the vapors went up and came down and started cooling this earth. It took billions of years, and then started life, germs, plant life, and all these things started. At one time, there was nothing, and then it started. Where did life come from? He says, from the sea. Certain chemical actions, the sun playing its part, and life started from there. When did you find this out? It's yesterday. Because 50 years is yesterday in the history of man. An illiterate man in the desert, he couldn't have known that, could he? He says, no, never. He said, well, listen. He said, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ حَيٍّ, and he has made from water every living thing. In Surah Yasin, chapter 36, verse 36. Allah describes about sexes in the vegetable kingdom, in the animal kingdom, and of things that we don't know, which are all recent discoveries. He says, Subhanalladhi khalaqa al-azwaja kullaha. He says, glory be to him who has created mates of everything, mimma tumbitul ardu, of that which the earth produces, the vegetable kingdom. وَمِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ, and from among yourselves, the animal kingdom, and وَمِمَّا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, and of things that you don't know. Mates of everything. It's a recent discovery that even plants, flowers have sexes. There are some flowers that have male and female in itself. There are other plants and trees, they are separate sexes. Like the date palm. The male tree is different from the female tree. I'm sure you Arabs know that. See, we didn't know that. Mankind didn't know that. Allah's kalam, without doubt. And Allah Bari Ta'ala is challenging mankind. Qul, tell them. These people, these skeptics, these unbelievers, tell them, قُلْ لَإِنِ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ, that if the gatherings of jinns and men, if they were to gather together to produce the like of this Qur'an, say, لَا يَعْتُونَ بِمِثْلِهِ وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ زَهِيرًا. It says, you will never be able to produce the like thereof, even if you help one another, back one another with help and support. This is the book. Allah says, this is my book. What does it mean for us? It means that this book is an eternal book of guidance for you and for me, for the whole of mankind.